Devotional Conversations rescue, the Devotional Conversations deliverance is at the core of the Bible's philosophy. And as we are seeing, it is at the core of what is found within that scene of the garden. The author writing that scene, they are painting the portrait of how one ought to carry their devotional conversation. And we're seeing this in the book of Genesis, and episodes prior, there have been examples given. But what if we could also see this outside of Genesis to Malachi? What if we could see this from Matthew to the Revelation? What if we could see this in the book of the Revelation? What are we seeing? We are seeing the illustration as portrayed in the garden scene in the book of Genesis, maintained, carried out, brought to life, continuing somehow, some way in the book of the Revelation. Now, this is going to be a lot of fun because we are going to be looking at, just as in the book of Genesis, another illustration, another figurative illustration, another vision, that is the Revelation. Just as the book of Genesis, chapters 1, 2, and 3 especially, and including that scene of the garden, have to be understood as in vision, by vision, understanding what vision is and what those characters and symbols represent when taken into the scope of reality. Same thing with the Revelation, and even more so, more blatant, the Revelation isn't literal. Nothing in the Revelation is literal. The Revelation is a vision that must be understood figuratively. And when understood figuratively, that concrete understanding will provide a foundational understanding, foundational format, foundational landscape for what that author is trying to convey. So when we enter into the Revelation, I'm going to start in chapter 4, because chapter 5 is our focus. That's where the verse that we want to focus on is coming from. Starting in chapter 4, which is the introduction to chapter 5, we meet a character in chapter 4 of the book of the Revelation. Upon entering in to what is quote-unquote heaven, and the definition of heaven does not change as we have discovered in previous episodes, this is the heavenly sanctuary. This is the heavenly sanctuary. The writer, the one in vision, is entered into the heavenly sanctuary. And we know this from chapter 1, where they saw one dressed as the Son of Man, meaning dressed as Aaron. Because only Aaron stood before the candlesticks. We have to know that to get that visual that we are, that the writer, the author, the one in vision is in the sanctuary beyond quote-unquote earth. Now, once entered therein, entering in chapter 4, there is one seated on a throne. I'm just going to read Revelation 4 and 3. Revelation 4 and verse 3. He that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone, and there was a rainbow round about the throne in sight like unto an emerald. Now, what color is the jasper and the sardine stone? What color is that? That's the color red. The color red. So when we are in chapter 4, we are introduced to a character that is sitting upon a throne, and they look red. It's not that their skin is red. They have the appearance of red for some specific reason that unfolds in chapter 5. They are red because a sacrifice has taken place. It is them, the one on the throne that is there seated. They are covered in red because the sacrifice that unfolded, or that has unfolded because of them. They are the one that is covered with that red due to their act, of that sacrifice. Remember, this is a vision. This isn't literal. We have to put these pieces together. When we're seeing one, and we are told that the appearance is of the jasper and the sardine stone, their skin isn't jasper and sardine stone. Their appearance is. Why is their appearance as the jasper in the sardine stone? Well, what color is the jasper in the sardine stone? It's red. No, their skin isn't literally red. No, they are not literally red. Looking at the book of Isaiah, Isaiah 63, 1 and 2. Isaiah 63, 1 and 2 reads, "Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Bozrah? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel? Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel? Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat?" When we're seeing in the book of Revelation, one seated on a throne and is appearing as the jasper and the sardine stone, we're supposed to know that we are observing one covered in red. And the automatic thought that we can fairly assume due to the next chapter, chapter 5, is that the one sitting on the throne is as appearing as the jasper in the sardine stone because they are covered in blood. Their garments are covered in blood. Their skin is not sardine and jasper stone. Their skin is not appearing as red. There's not a red glow around them. Their garments are covered in red. And it is because of these garments covered in red that what next appears to the one beholding, what they're seeing, is a rainbow, which is synonymous with, can take that back to Genesis, which means covenant order. There is a covenant promise due to the act of what we are now seeing through the eyes of the one having that vision. And this is very interesting because there is only one that can offer sacrifices. There is only one that can offer sacrifices. Looking at the book of Revelation 5 and verse 6. Revelation 5 and verse 6, "I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God sent forth in all the earth." The figure that we are seeing that is sitting on that throne has slain a victim. The figure that we are seeing sitting on that throne in chapter 4, we are seeing in chapter 5 the victim that they have slain. Revelation 5, 8, and 9 allows us to understand why that slaying, why that sacrifice is so relevant. Revelation 5, 8, and 9 reads, "And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of saints. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to God by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation." I'm going to read that one more time. Revelation 5, verse 9. "And they sung a new song." This new song is sung because of the appearance of the one sitting on the throne in chapter 4. For what that appearance has brought forth. They sung a new song. "Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to God by thy blood out of every kindred, tongue, people, and nation." These are, in all 4, kindred, tongue, people, and nation. This is denomination.
say that we can find anything about this, we can try. If I may just say one time, we can be something right. I ain't gonna waste your time. I will say what's on my mind. If I may just say one time, if you're for me, then I'm alright.
Now the one seated on the throne, covered in blood, it's evident and it is clear that they are a priest. Because anciently, only the priests are supposed to be doing this. Only the priests had the responsibility of killing that atoning, redeeming offering, oblation. The one seated on this throne, they are also a priest. There is an existing, we can say fairly, high priest. We can say fairly that they are the high priest because they are surrounded by 24 elders and also other creatures fulfilling service of sanctuary. This is a sanctuary setting. This is not a royal setting. This is a sanctuary setting. And the one on the throne is a priest. Looking at Zechariah 6:12 and 13. Zechariah 6:12 and 13. And speak unto him, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, saying, Behold the man whose name is the branch. He shall grow out of his place. He shall build the temple of the Lord. Even he shall build the temple of the Lord, and he shall bear the glory, and shall sit and rule upon his throne. What is his throne, though? He shall be a priest upon his throne, and the counsel of peace shall be between them both. The one sitting and seated on that throne in Revelation 4 fulfills this. This is an individual that is priest while on the throne. The throne isn't secular per se. Secular meaning civil. Civil meaning royal authority, government authority. This throne is priestly. When we enter into the Revelation, there is an already existing high priest. An already existing high priest. Seated on a throne. Seated on a throne already. And I'm really glad that the author writing the Revelation has it in this way, because this is a consistent narrative from Genesis to Malachi of there being an already existing high priest beside the all capital Lord, God. That's what we're seeing in the book of the Revelation. And the slaying there, the slaying that this priest has done, has brought forth a song. A new song is to be sung by the ones reverent to this priest's throne, by the ones reverent to this priest's dominion. That new song that is supposed to be heard and acknowledged is a song confessing one's devotional obligation to resurrect from tongues, peoples, kindreds, and nations, all four meaning denominations, to become mindful of the consciousness within that temple. Now, when it comes to the consciousness that is within that temple, it falls back down to what the one sitting on that throne slew. He slew, sure, it says lamb, but in reality, that context, while fitting, he slew a lion of a particular tribe of assembly, having a certain type of mindset, which certain type of mindset leaves them from exiting the earthly domain of denominational thought, theory, right baptism, speculation, so on and so forth, upwards. It says that the Lion of the tribe of Judah opened that book, stood before the one that slew it, So what actually was slain? When we think about lion, because a lion was slain by the one seated on the throne in Revelation 4 and in also Revelation 5, what actually was slain? What is this lion a figurative illustration for? Looking in the book of Isaiah. Looking in the book of Isaiah 21, 6 through 9. Isaiah 21, 6 through 9. For thus hath the Lord said unto me, Go, set a watchman, let him declare what he sees. And he saw a chariot with a couple of horsemen, a chariot of asses and a chariot of camels, and he hearkened diligently with much heed. What did he say? What did he cry? And he cried, a lion. A lion is in the distance. And he cried, a lion. My Lord, I stand continually upon the watchtower in the daytime, and I am set in my ward whole nights. And behold, here cometh a chariot of men with a couple of horsemen. When we're hearing lion, what was slain was the Lion of the tribe of Judah. When we're hearing lion, the lion here from Isaiah 21, 6 through 9 is representing chariots, is representing army, is representing force. The watchman saw not a literal lion, but an assembly of chariots approaching furiously as a lion. When we're hearing lion, we ought to think chariots, strength, army, force. Looking at Jeremiah 4, 6 and 7. Jeremiah 4, 6 and 7. Set up the standard toward Zion, retire, stay not. For I will bring evil from the north and a great destruction. The lion is come up from his thicket, and the destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way. He is gone forth from his place to make thy land desolate, and thy cities shall be laid waste without an inhabitant. Now, what is the logic? What is the logic behind the one found on that throne in Revelation 4, slaying what is of force and slaying what is of quote-unquote destruction? The lion is of force. The lion, as Jeremiah 4, 6 and 7, we know this character to be the king of the north, is framed as destroying, as being of destruction. What is the logic of the one found on this throne killing what is to bring destruction, killing to what is force? Looking at Judges 14. Judges 14, 5 through 9. Judges 14, 5 through 9. Then went Samson down and his father and his mother to Timnath, and came to the vineyards of Timnath. Behold, a young lion roared against him, and the Spirit of the Lord came upon him mightily. And he rent him as he would have rent a kid, and he had nothing in his hand. But he told not his father or his mother what he had done. He went down, talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson well. And after a time he returned to take her, and he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion. And behold, there was a swarm of bees and honey in the carcass of the lion. And he took thereof in his hands, and went on eating, came to his father and mother, and he gave them, and they did eat. But he told not them that he had taken the honey out of the carcass of the lion. The slain lion in Revelation 5 is slain because there is honey within it. In reality, vision is saying that the one on the throne appeared as jasper and sardine stone, meaning red. But in reality, what is covering that figure's garments while appearing red, it's actually honey. The slain lion in Revelation 5, which is also called that slain lamb, that slain lion, that slain lion leading the march for its mindful assembly out of denominations, has within it honey. That's why the one found on that throne sacrificed and slew it, killed it, to release the honey within it. Hair care enthusiasts, are you ready to elevate your hair game without breaking the bank? If you are, this will be very interesting to you. Divi will give you an exclusive $10 off discount on all premium hair care products. But to claim this fantastic offer, all you have to do is visit their website at diviofficial.com/Linwood61174. Whether you're looking to nourish your locks, revitalize your scalp, or want a serum for hair growth that actually works, Divi has you covered. Visit diviofficial.com/Linwood61174 and unlock your $10 off discount now. What is honey? What is honey? What is honey? Looking at Psalm 119:103. Psalm 119:103. How sweet are thy words unto my taste, yea, sweeter than honey to my mouth. This is very plain. Words equal honey. That lion of the tribe of Judah, that lion is slain because within it are words. In order for those words to get out, the body needs to be cut open. Proverbs 24:13 and 14. Proverbs 24:13 and 14. My son, eat thou honey because it is good, and the honeycomb which is sweet to thy taste. Why? So shall the knowledge of wisdom be unto thy soul when thou hast found it, then there shall be a reward, and thy expectation shall not be cut off. When we're hearing honey, honey equals words, yes. In a truer sense, in a more definite sense, honey equals wisdom of knowledge. Honey equals wisdom of knowledge. That's why it's sweet to the taste, because wisdom of knowledge is beyond sweet to the taste. In order to get that wisdom of knowledge out, that sacrifice had to be slain, had to happen. That lion needed to be slain. Song of Solomon 4. Song of Solomon 4 verse 11. Song of Solomon 4 verse 11. Thy lips, O my spouse, drop as the honeycomb. Thy lips, O my spouse, drop as the honeycomb. Honey and milk are under thy tongue, and the smell of thy garments is like the smell of Lebanon. So in reality, we're seeing someone that looks like the sardine in the jasper stone, and that's a red look. Their garments are red. In vision. In reality, honey is covering their garments. Honey is covering their garments. Honey is covering their garments. Splattered on them is a wisdom of knowledge. What they have released into the atmosphere are words from under a tongue. What kind of words? What kind of words? Proverbs 16:24. Proverbs 16:24. Pleasant words are as an honeycomb. Pleasant words are as an honeycomb. Sweet to the soul, health to the bones. That figure sitting on the throne in Revelation 4, who we also see in Revelation 5, they have slain pleasant words. In order for pleasant words to impact the atmosphere, they have had to be slain. Think back to Abel to get what that means. Once slain, the message changes. Once those words are now in the atmosphere, once those words are now allowed to suffer death, we are to be free, is what the meaning of those words now are supposed to mean. from peoples, nations, kindreds, and tongues. The same message in Genesis, and especially within that garden scene, is the same message from Revelation chapter 4 and 5. The same message from Genesis, in that garden scene especially, is the same message found in Revelation chapters 4 and in chapters 5. This is what the gospel of the Bible is. This is what the good news of each and every single author putting together each and every single book and chapter of the Bible, that's what that is. The good news is the Devotional Conversations liberation from the dust or from denominations. That's the good news. Taking that good news, we take our conversation in hand. We take our experience in hand. Weigh it with the words of which that liberation comes from, which words are the words found within the pages of the Bible. We take what is therein, bring it into our conversation, and ensure our resurrection. The Bible is consistent in its message. The Bible is consistent in its message. And when we're seeing the illustrations in Genesis, whether we're seeing them in the Revelation, the message is we need to get our conversation to the point of regeneration. We have to wake up from the matrix and the blueprint that the religious world is. This is the tiding. These are the good tidings that the Bible wants its careful reader, its critical thinker, its student, patient to realize.